Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. In his book entitled, royal biographer Andrew Lownie delves into some of the more extravagant aspects of Sarah Ferguson's spending. Among the more eyebrow-raising claims is the revelation that she once dined nightly as if she were hosting a Tudor feast. One former staff member, who Lownie says was dismissed from their post, claimed, "Every night she demands a whole side of beef, a leg of lamb and a chicken, which are laid out on the dining room table like a medieval banquet. It's a feast that would make Henry VIII proud, but often there is just her and her girls, Bea and Eugenie, and most of it is wasted. There is no attempt to have it cold the next day." Even the Duchess's staff reportedly felt the strain, with one butler said to have arrived at 4:30 in the morning just to put watercress on ice. Dan Ottaway, who cooked for Queen Elizabeth II during his time at Buckingham Palace, told the Irish Independent that not all royal diners were created equal. According to Ottaway, Andrew stood out for all the wrong reasons. "We used to say that he was quite difficult. He would have been more demanding than the rest of them for sure," he recalled. "There would have been last-minute requests for lunches, guests, and stuff like that. Other family members would have told us weeks in advance because they understand we needed to prep for them." The chef said Andrew's behavior stemmed from knowing he could get away with anything really because who's going to tell him off? And he was probably the Queen's favourite child. He was definitely different to the rest of the family in his meal requirements. Ottaway, however, had far kinder words for the Princess of Wales. He revealed that Kate would often bring her children to the kitchen after a meal to thank the staff. "She didn't want them to be ungrateful or whatever, but it meant a lot to us in the kitchen to see the kids really bubbly," he said. A source told the biographer that Andrew believed his staff were there to serve and not to question his actions, describing extravagant behavior such as ordering maids to climb 4 flights of stairs to open his curtains while he lay in bed beside them. On another occasion, he is said to have summoned a television technician to his home in the middle of the night to explain how a remote control worked, and even instructed police protection officers to retrieve his used golf balls. Lownie said he's a very self-entitled, arrogant, pompous guy who has never really been given any boundaries in his life, has never actually been disciplined. I mean, even talking to his school friends, they said this was an accident waiting to happen. When it comes to royal kitchens, the king has officially earned the crown for being the most daring diner in the family. According to former royal chef Darren McGrady, His Majesty brought a much-needed culinary shake-up to palace menus during his time as Prince of Wales, and his influence still lingers. Prince Charles, now King Charles, was the most adventurous, McGrady told Heart Bingo. He brought organic food into the royal kitchens long before it became mainstream. He'd bring his own hampers with homegrown fruits and vegetables, especially at Sandringham. It didn't stop with produce. The king is said to have a strong love for Italian and Mediterranean cuisine, nudging the royal chefs away from the stiffer fare of classic British and French dishes. He loved Italian cuisine and introduced Mediterranean dishes to the menu, said McGrady. He also enjoyed foraging for wild mushrooms, which he would bring to the kitchens for us to use in meals. His healthy approach to food has long been a hallmark of his lifestyle. At Highgrove House, Charles keeps chickens that supply his preferred eggs, and Clarence House once confirmed he enjoys them in the morning. Add in a handful of nuts and seeds and a cup of tea, reportedly also a daily staple, and you have the makings of a king's breakfast. As for lunch, don't expect to find Charles lingering over a midday meal. It's well known that the monarch often skips it entirely in favour of packing in more royal engagements. Dinner, however, is another matter. The king reportedly goes big on seasonal ingredients, favouring meals made from fresh produce sourced directly from his own estate. Former royal butler Grant Harrell believes King Charles could soon bring a major change to the royal family's Christmas traditions. For decades, the royals have gathered at Sandringham, walking to church on Christmas morning to greet the public. But Harold, who worked for Charles at Highgrove House between 2004 and 11, told GB News that the king may eventually shift the holiday back to Windsor Castle. After the fire at the Windsor Castle, the royal family were forced to relocate their Christmas holidays from Windsor to Sandringham. The trip to Norfolk has been a part of their annual diary ever since, but I think the king may make another change and bring Christmas back to Windsor Castle, he explained. Harold said the move would make sense, given that many senior royals, including the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children, are now based near Windsor. It's where the king's parents and grandparents are laid to rest, so it's very special to him, he noted, though he also pointed out that Charles remains fond of Sandringham and may find it hard to abandon completely. More Palace in just a moment. Meghan is facing ridicule from royal watchers and social media users alike after sharing what many have dubbed her boiled water recipe. The Duchess of Sussex posted a video to promote her new As Ever holiday collection featuring a spiced cider mulling spice kit. In the clip, Meghan demonstrates how to make what she calls a really cozy warm beverage that everyone can enjoy. By placing a pouch of her spice blend into a pan of hot water, she then pours the mixture into glasses, adding cinnamon sticks, a slice of lemon, and a teaspoon of her brand's honey. Viewers were quick to mock the demonstration, accusing the Duchess of reinventing mulled water. One user commented, "So she boiled water," while another joked, "Next week, Meghan shows us how to toast bread." Royal watchers also questioned the simplicity of the content, suggesting the video was tone-deaf given its branding as a luxury product. She's selling an image, not a recipe, one critic said, but even the image feels hollow. Newly declassified files have revealed that North Korea once tried to cash in on Britain's royal wedding fever. In 1981, as the marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer captivated hundreds of millions around the globe, Pyongyang quietly issued commemorative stamps of the royal couple. The move was part of the Kim regime's broader use of philately, the collection and sale of stamps, as a way to earn hard currency and weave itself into the global pop culture markets. British diplomatic memos from 1982 show officials were both bemused and wary after learning of the stamps, which depicted Charles and Diana at St. Paul's Cathedral on the Buckingham Palace balcony and in the throne room, alongside images of the Concorde jet. One diplomat in Beijing joked that the British Post Office should retaliate with a geriatric Dictators of the World set featuring Kim Il-sung. The Royal Philatelic Collection, worth an estimated £100 million, only automatically accepted stamps from Commonwealth nations, though officials admitted the palace would probably still accept the North Korean issues if they were formally presented. North Korea's intentions were seen as purely pecuniary, with one note in the file remarking that the stamps could only be purchased in Britain as part of a full royal wedding collection priced at £600. The wedding stamps were only the start. Pyongyang went on to issue stamps marking the couple's first anniversary, Prince William's birth in 1982, and even Princess Diana's 21st birthday. Later sets featured portraits of European monarchs, including Charles and Diana, George VI and Queen Victoria, all aimed squarely at the lucrative British stamp collecting market of the 1980s. Princess Ingrid Alexandra of Norway has given her first major interview, and she did it from Sydney, where she is now living as a university student. The 21-year-old heir to the Norwegian throne spoke to her country's national broadcaster, NRK, from the University of Sydney campus, where she begins her studies in August. "I'm enjoying it very much so far," she said. "I think Sydney was the right choice for me." She described the Australian city as a beautiful place, but admitted she hasn't seen much of it yet. "I haven't explored as much as I'd like, but I've been here for 3 years," she said. A keen surfer, she added that she's already had a chance to experience the local waves. The princess is studying social science, specializing in international relations and political economy, a degree she says will help her prepare for her future role. "I definitely think that my education will be very relevant to the job I will do in the future," she said. "I think it is important to have a basic understanding of the political system, of international relations and how things work." Princess Ingrid Alexandra will one day become Norway's first reigning queen in more than 6 centuries. For now, her move to Australia means stepping away from royal duties for 3 years, though she plans to return to Norway for holidays. She will sit her university exams in mid-November before heading home for Christmas. Adjusting to life abroad has been mostly smooth, though she admitted the media attention in Sydney has been more intrusive than at home. "I have experienced some paparazzi here. There have been some situations that may seem a little uncomfortable, but fortunately, it has calmed down a lot over time," she said. The princess also spoke about her mother, Crown Princess Meghan'S, who has battled a chronic lung disease for several years. "Mum has had a chronic illness for a long time," she said, "but I try to keep in good contact with her. We often talk on the phone, but of course it's hard to be far away." She said her grandparents, King Harold and Queen Sonia, stay in touch from Oslo. Grandma is very good at sending long messages on behalf of both her and Grandpa, but admitted she misses her family and even her dog Molly. Princess Ingrid Alexandra also addressed the difficult situation involving her half-brother, Marius Borg Høiby, who faces criminal charges in Norway for alleged domestic abuse and rape. "Of course, it's difficult," she said, "both for those of us who are around, for me as a sister, and for Mum and Dad, and of course, for everyone affected by the case." The trial is due to begin in Oslo in February and run through March. To learn more about the Norwegian rebels, listen to our season of Crown and Controversy, Norway's Royal Rebels. And to find that, just look for season 1 on the series currently labelled Crown and Controversy Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew is the second season, the Norways are the first season. So just look for Crown and Controversy Prince Andrew in your podcast app, and you'll find the Norway Royal Rebels there as well. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.